Chief Sormas.
Okay, good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Alrighty. All right, now, on first line item, it's under new business. We have no old business from last month, no correspondence. So we have a resignation letter from Jacob Birmingham. Jacob Birmingham is in our patrol division. He's advancing his career. He's been selected by the FBI to go to their academy, and he submitted a resignation last month. His final day working was March 9th, and his final paycheck will be on April 25th. We'd like to wish him good luck on his next future endeavors. Real good officer here, added value to our patrol program, or to our patrol. He came over from Lake Station, if you recall, back in June of 2022, so he's got about 3.5 years, and he brought over a canine that he did an individual fundraiser for, and a young canine that was hired also with him. So we immediately got a canine along with him, so that was a great addition to our patrol division. So we're going to miss him, and we wish him luck. And there's no action required on the board on this. I'm just notifying you as in accordance to our policies to the letter and the form for resignation. So, and then tow service provider agreement. This is actually an add-on to 2 months ago. We had the ordinances, miscellaneous fee, tolls fees, the toll ordinances. We were updating everything back then, and this is part of that. And I was able to get something put together and reviewed by our board attorney. And I received that back yesterday, and everything is okay for me to submit to the board. And I'm asking the board tonight to recommend this toll service provider agreement to the town council as a recommendation. And that'll go along. This basically is a service provider where the standards are set for the performance of the toll firms that the police department calls out for towed vehicles.
Chief, if I could just throw in on that, there were only 2 items that I had left blank. I think the agreement is in pretty good shape, but one question was, we have to set standards for the tow service providers that we're potentially going to contract with, and one of those, pursuant to the statute, was they have to specify when owners will have access hours to pick up the vehicles. Yes. I don't know that we've pinned down that yet, and that might differ from provider to provider, but that is in the contract. Another issue was pursuant to the town ordinances. The tow company is supposed to post a surety bond, and I don't know how much the town might want to make that, set that bond level at, but apart from those 2 items, everything looks pretty good to me, and I understand this is also going to undergo a level of review with the town attorney. So.
No, you're absolutely correct. Thank you for chiming in on those 2 items. The toll company liability insurance, in accordance to our town ordinance, I was going to direct that to our insurance carriers and let them review that in addition to our town attorney for the review of the contract, or the, not the contract, but the agreement, and also the hours of picking up the vehicles. I was going to actually myself contact and kind of see what the hours are. They're pretty much standard. It's up to 5 o'clock usually, but I want to confirm with them as well and let them know about that we're almost done with the agreement as well too. So they're on board, and I keep them in the loop.
So I didn't read it, which I probably should have, but just in the past, the requirement was, and correct me if I'm wrong, the requirement was that during the regular business hours, regular business days, that they have to have somebody at the tow company available for
Yes.
people to pick it up. So, because we ran into issues with one particular company that didn't. And my question is, do we ever go back to ensure that they're abiding by this ordinance?
Yes, we do keep track of that. There was standards and minimum requirements that we did have, and all of them fulfilled those requirements. But this is more on, we expanded on that. We took the basis on that, and now that we have these 4 tow firms, we wanted to put that in writing and notify them, because tow truck drivers change, ownership changes, different employees come in, so we want to make sure that they're fulfilling all their requirements. So we're going through the whole checklist.
So does the present ordinance require that they have personnel on scene at the tow company during
Yes,
regular
yes,
business hours?
during business hours, yes. That's up until 5 o'clock, yes.
Is that how that's presently structured?
Right now, it's just got a blank in that section saying access for owners to pick up vehicles during reasonable hours from blank to blank. Or 24-hour access if they should provide that. I was not sure, what the standard is, basically. I know that the state statute that was recently passed on these agreements just requires that the hours be listed in the agreement. However, it does not provide what those
Yeah,
specific hours.
it was 8 a.m. till 5 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I actually
Yeah,
think that's
yeah.
an important.
Yeah, and also what we added also though too is on the fees, that's where we're gonna follow up with the tow firms. We're also gonna have them distinctly display the fees so everybody understands what they're paying for at those desks, so we don't have any, so it's more in line with the ordinance, on the fees. So we're not, we provided also in here, we don't want any additional fees or hidden fees or anything like that. We're just trying to clarify everything, so it's in writing and they have a copy of it.
So, and the fees were set at the industry standard, correct? I mean, it's pretty much a regular
Yes,
standard.
we did
right?
that about 2 months ago, yes, the
Yeah, so-
Tri-Town area, yes.
Okay, only because, I mean, it's one thing to have fees there, but it's another thing, they don't have a choice to pay it or not.
Yeah.
So I knew that we had talked about an industry standard for the fees, and it was in line with everybody else's.
And we never had an extensive agreement like this. It was always, we set some standards, and usually the firms did what they're supposed to do, but,
So without that completed, with blanks, how are we recommending something unless it's complete?
Well,
I mean, you can't say
this could even differ from tow firm to tow firm. So you can recommend it as is, and those numbers are going to have to be filled in at some point, whether that's, approved by you guys before the contract is entered into. That would be one way to do it. Prior to entering into it with, you said there were 4 providers presently.
Yeah.
And those hours, for example, could differ a little bit from provider to provider based on, it just has to be stated in the agreement with them.
And that'll be done on the next level of review. We have one more level of review with the town level, with the, Andy from our Director of Operations and our town attorney will also finalize this agreement before it goes in front of the town council.
How many companies does the town deal with? 3?
4.
Oh, 4.
Yeah.
No, were there any changes on the standards, or are those pretty much the same as they were?
There were, I couldn't get my hands on anything that was spelled out in this form. It was more just a basic standard checklist, but the standards are all pretty much the same.
Well, isn't the towing standards in the codification?
Yeah, it's in it, yes.
So what's changed from what's in the codification?
It's spelled out in bullet points here, 1 point at a time. Liability insurance compliance and review. Some of those things were done just basically by the police department. I didn't have any type of forms or any type of actual agreements. And then some of the firms, obviously, when I contacted some of them were unaware of the codification or the ordinance language. So I provided that to them. So I think this would be a good approach to put everybody on the same page in regards to what's expected out of them.
So does the agreement follow the standards within the codification?
Yes, that's what we're
Okay.
based on. That's what
I
we
was
based it.
asking my question.
Yes, that's
So
what we
you're
based it
basically
on.
memorializing it, so
Yeah.
are we gonna ask the tow firms to sign and acknowledge the agreement as well?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I like it.
There's a new state statute on this too that says we're supposed to be doing these agreements.
Yes.
Ah,
And we were
Okay.
updating Bob, so 2 months ago, we were updating pretty much a lot of the ordinances that haven't been touched in 10, 15 years. So this was,
Sure.
this was a good time to review everything. Another one we'll be addressing soon will be the gun permit ones, because that's also changed. So,
Okay.
You guys have anything to add with that? I almost feel like, maybe I'm off on this, I almost feel like we're sending something that's not complete because of what you've said you still have to do. We're recommending something not complete. And then my second thing is, what's our big hurry?
No, this is just the second part of the ordinances for the tow, since we have the tow fee over there. There's no big hurry. It's just a matter of the insurance. I've said, I'll put a minimum standard in here, which was being based on some of the certificates of insurance I've been receiving. And if there's any other specific recommendations that the insurance company would want in here as well, I think it's, give them a time to review it. So the
Well,
board.
and again, it kind of exactly what I just said, though, it's, if there's still work to be done, why would,
Yeah, because there's two separate entities. We could recommend to the council, and the council will then approve it with the other ordinances on that. We're just recommending this to the council to move forward with it.
It'll get another review. I mean, if we want to clarify the hours, I would be good with normal business hours, Monday through Friday. I mean, that seems to be, knowing some of the, like stands and everything, I don't think they're open on the weekends, so.
No, none of them are open on weekends, and they all pretty much follow anywhere from 8 to 9 to 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock in the hour or so.
Yeah, so I mean, if you make it 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, 8 to 4, any of those are pretty normal business hours. Either any of those, or by appointment, you could make it too. Because some of them may make appointments to do it.
I mean, I'd almost be more comfortable inserting those hours in there now if it's going to be reviewed by another board after us, if there's going to be another additional review, but I hate to send that over there blank like that.
I agree with you, Eric. I think put in normal business hours. I think 9 to 5, 8 to 4, those are pretty normal business hours.
The tow company liability insurance, it has a minimum set at $1 million per occurrence, 2,000. It's got the commercial automobile liability coverage and umbrella or excess liability, which we're requiring at this time. So it's not unfinished. There's minimum standards in there, but that's their expertise. And to get it over to them, we would just recommend to the board, recommend to the council to move forward with it. And then the hours are reasonable, regular hours.
Yeah, the liability insurance, I'm not overly concerned with because I know that is going to meet a standard, but I certainly.
But still, it's one component in regards to getting it over to the council in order so our town carrier can review it to protect us.
Yeah, I'd like
Well,
to see.
I would be okay approving it, making the recommendation to send it to the council with normal business hours. I mean, I think that satisfies what's missing.
And
Pardon me, Stan's is open 8 to 5, I just looked them up.
Okay, 8 to 5 then.
Is
The
no,
Make
business
it 8 to
hours, yeah,
5.
yeah.
is that Monday through Friday?
yes.
Yeah.
And the other issue was the bond amount.
Insurance, surety.
The town statute or ordinance provides that the tow company has to post a surety bond. I don't know what the customary amount is that we've been using.
That's posted with the.
Well, I know the contractor's bonds were always, the contractor bond, unless it's changed recently, was always $5,000. And, which is, to me, is kind of stupid, because that's been around for 30, 40 years at $5,000. And I don't think it's enough, and especially since the tow company is responsible for somebody's vehicle, $5,000 doesn't get you very far anymore.
No,
So,
requirement there we're gonna have to satisfy.
yeah, so I would be okay. I mean, does anybody have any knowledge of what, like, the state police do or anything in that regard?
No, I don't have that.
So just to clarify about the hours, we're gonna put it in there, 8 to 5, or?
8 to 5, yeah, we can put it in.
5,
there,
we
8
can
to
put it
5.
in there.
Yes.
But I would think a surety bond, at least $25,000 would be minimal.
Yeah, because right now, the business license, Jim, if I'm not mistaken, it's $5,000 surety bond.
It is $5,000 on the surety bond
Yeah.
It's a bumper.
for a contractor, and I guess they're contractors in a way, but that's more for the building side. And I'm not really sure where I think that might be statutory or maybe we followed just what the county was doing. But to me, it's, $5,000 is almost a joke anymore.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
I even want to make it 50,000, doesn't make any difference to me. It's not, if they're a solid company, that's not gonna be hard. Is anybody, Stance is probably the predominant tower around here. What does he do, or what did the other towns do? Because I know we kind of mirrored what St. John and Dyer were doing.
That was just on the fee schedule.
I know, but, so, do they have a bonding requirement, or is that a state requirement that they be bonded?
To my knowledge, all the business licenses in town and require a bond and a business license.
Bob, what about if you made it 10,000? It's staying within, you're jumping and doubling it. Just an idea.
Yeah, their liability coverage is gonna cover most of it, so
Right.
10,000 is fine. If we just follow the business license, that might be more appropriate. They have a business license, but a normal business, a retail business license doesn't require any bonding, as I recall. Only the contractor's license requires bonding. Andy's there, ask Andy.
Is the what?
Said that's correct.
Just the contractors, yes.
Yeah, just the contractor. So if you want to put 10,000 in there, I'm good with that. If you want, that's a reasonable amount. And so if they're bonding, are they bonding for damage to public property? Or are they bonding to the tow person, tow vehicle?
No, that was the reason it was left at that level there was recommended to the council, so our town attorney and insurance can review that to maybe set that amount, so we can have that conversation over there.
I think that's probably a good idea to yield to that in the language on it. So who are they, if they're bonding, a surety bond to the town for what? For public property? They drop a squad car or drop a tow vehicle on a squad car?
It'll encompass any damage to the town, obviously, because of.
Yeah, if it's public property, then, yeah, so, you can spend $10,000 really fast. But I don't know how much exposure there is for that.
I don't have the statute right in front of me. I believe I inserted this provision because it simply said that the tow company had to post a bond, but I don't think it went into much detail about that, so.
I'm comfortable with letting the town attorney figure that out with the staff. Andy's listening to all of this, so he's kind of aware what the questions are.
Yeah.
Okay, so anything else to add beside that?
No,
So
not at this
I think
time.
the agreement that we've reached was that we're going to insert the hours, and then we're going to leave the bond itself, the monetary number,
Discretion of the council.
Kick that up.
Across the street.
and I'm comfortable with that. Are you-
Me too.
Dave,
Yeah.
George, everybody good with that? Okay, we'll move on to the hiring process update.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up tonight and request for the board to approve an emergency hire due to the most recent resignation. And then also, for this month, we also had 2 officers retire. We had Corporal Tim Mealy and Officer Tom Rusger retire. And that would put us in 3 officers that were short at this time, less what our authorized strength is at 52. And I provided you with the 2026 year monthly schedule on how the retirements and the resignations would drop off on our authorized strength. And currently in the month of April, we're at 51, but they'll drop to 49 and then down to 48 in October for another retirement. So that would definitely constitute us to move forward with an emergency hire process to be operationally ready and have enough staff before we can start initiating more academy recruits. So I would recommend to the board tonight to initiate an emergency hire, to advertise it for 30 days and go through the standard emergency hire process in order to establish a list. In that also would suspend temporarily the current Schererville recruit eligibility list, which is slated to expire in December of 2026 of this year. So we have 6 months, about 7 months left on that list, and about 5 names on that list right now.
Chief, we set precedent before with doing this.
Yes, sir, yeah.
I see no reason why we can't do this.
So presently on the active list, we've only hired one off that complete list, correct?
There's one in the
It has some
academy, yes.
20 names on it, correct? And then, do we know when the next academy starts? I know
August.
presently in
In August.
August. Okay.
Are there still spots open?
Pardon me?
Are there any spots open left or open in
They
August?
haven't opened up for the registration yet. They usually open up in July for the registration, about 6 weeks before the academy starts.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry.
We have an officer in the academy now,
Yes, we do, but we sent them in January.
and how many emergency hires were you contemplating, chief?
I was gonna see what the list actually generated, but I was looking at least 1 or 2 maybe.
Okay. That sounds like a reasonable plan, and then what would, if so, you got another one leaving in October.
Yes.
Are you gonna pick another one off the list to send to the academy?
That would give us enough time then, because that individual will be going in retirement, but he'll still be on the books. So that'll give us enough time to send somebody in the academy should we have somebody on the list, on the eligibility list.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly understand the need. I would hope that we would go back and
Yes.
after the emergency hires based on strictly need, that we would go back and
Yeah.
at least try to exhaust that list a little bit before it expires.
Absolutely, and a lot of these are unexpected as this individual, because he was not able to provide us with any information until he got the information from the FBI, so it's,
That's what we did before, right?
Yeah. You good, Dave, George? Everybody good?
Good.
Okay.
I support that.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
that also encompasses the unexpected for that time too, so I forgot to mention that during my explanation, that if something does occur also, we would be covered in that respect to have enough officers, whether it be an emergency hire list or on the regular hire list.
We understand. Thank you. Chief Patterson, I'm sorry for the delay. Did you have anything you wanted to add before we close the,
I have one thing that I'll add to the reports when we get to it in the main meeting.
okay, thank you. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close the study session, open this up to the Board of Safety meeting, Town of Schererville for April 2nd, 2026. We'll ask that everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bob. We'll go ahead and move on to the roll call.
Eric Graff,
I'm here.
George Corus,
Here.
David Enigenberg,
Here.
David Jaruzelski.
Present.
Robert Volkman,
Here,
Attorney Christian Bartholomew,
Here.
Police Chief Pete Sormaz.
Here.
Deputy Chief of Police Steve McNamara.
Here.
Fire Chief Robert Patterson.
Here.
Deputy Fire Chief David Meyer. Here. Recording Secretary Stephanie Bodiger here.
Thank you. We'll move on to the approval of minutes. I'll need a motion for the approval of the minutes for March 5th, 2026.
So moved.
I have a motion. I'll need a second.
Second.
second,
I have a motion and a second. Any conversation, gentlemen? Hearing none, we'll ask for a roll call vote.
Eric Graff,
Yes.
George Corus.
Yes.
David Enigenberg,
Yes.
David Jaruzelski.
Yes.
Robert Volkman.
yes,
Thank you. Move on to correspondence. We'll start with Fire Chief Patterson.
No correspondence.
Thank you, sir. We'll move on to Chief Sormas.
No correspondence tonight.
Okay, move on to old business. Fire Chief Patterson.
No old business.
Very good. Chief Sormas.
Under the,
Old business.
no old business. No old business
Thank
tonight.
you, sir. We'll move on to new business. Fire Chief Patterson.
No new business.
Okay, move on to B. Chief Sormas resignation letter.
resignation letter from Jacob Birmingham. That's one of our officers that was hired back in June of 2023. He's advancing his career. He's hired by the FBI. I submitted his resignation letter. We'd like to wish him good luck on his next endeavor. And his final workday was March 19th, and his final pay will be on April 25th of 2026. Just notifying the board, no action is required from the board tonight.
Thank you, sir. Move on to the tow service provider agreement.
Yes, as we discussed in our study session, as I'm submitting the tow service provider agreement, this is basically an explanation that's already in the ordinance that we have for our tow firms that are being utilized by the police department. And I'm asking the board to recommend this to our town council, and this will be the second half of the part that we did 2 months ago, which was the scheduled toll fees and the schedule for the ordinances. So we were updating all the ordinances a couple months ago, and this is the one part that we also needed for our toll ordinance. So with the recommendation, I would recommend to send it over to our town council with the reasonable operating hours of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then, of course, our town attorney and our insurance would review and submit some kind of recommendation for a bond and for the insurance limits, as we discussed in our study session.
Very good, Chief, so I'll need that in the form of a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion, I'll need a second.
Second for discussion. The hours would be 8 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Monday through
Just
Friday.
for clarity.
Thank you.
Any additional discussions, gentlemen? Hearing none, I'll need a roll call vote.
Eric Graff.
Yes.
George Corus.
Yes.
David Einigenberg.
Yes.
David Jaruzelski.
Yes.
Robert Volkman.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Move on to Chief Sormas to the hiring process.
Okay, thank you. As we discussed in our study session, I'm tonight asking the board to temporarily suspend our current eligibility list that's slated to expire December of 2026 and initiate an emergency hire process in order to recruit lateral transfers to our department in the near future.
Okay, so we'll start off with we'll do this in two separate motions. The first one will be, I'll need a motion to suspend the current eligibility hiring process list. I'll need that in the form of a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion, I need a second.
Second.
I have a motion, any conversation, gentlemen? Hearing none, I'll need a roll call vote for the suspension of the current eligibility list.
Eric Graff.
Yes.
George Corus.
Yes.
David Einigenberg.
Yes.
David Jaruzelski.
Yes.
Robert Volkman.
Yes.
Okay, then we'll move on to the second motion. The second motion will be to establish an emergency hire list. I'll need that in the form of a motion.
So moved.
You got the motion, I'll need a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any conversation, gentlemen? Hearing none, I'll need a roll call vote.
Eric Graff.
Yes.
George Corus.
Yes.
David Einigenberg.
Yes.
David Jaruzelski.
Yes.
Robert Volkman.
Yes.
Very good, thank you. Move on to reports. Chief Sormas.
Nothing other than what's in your packets for tonight.
Thank you, sir. Fire Chief Patterson.
I just wanted to add one thing. Next week on April 7th at 1 p.m. here in this town council room, we will be doing a swearing in for our new hire, Donald Jones III. So I'd like to invite you, if you're available, to come by and witness that.
Chief, will you do us a favor and just, only because there's always so much going on, can you send us that like the day before to the board, or at least a couple days before, so we can have representation at that swearing-in ceremony? Otherwise, we're going to forget.
Yes, I'll take care of it.
Thank you. Reports from the attorney?
None today.
Thank you, sir. Move on to board members. Any board members with anything to add?
Oh, good.
Okay, business from the floor. Is there any business from the floor? Okay, hearing none, I'll need a motion for the adjournment of the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion, I'll need a second.
Second.
Any conversation, gentlemen? Hearing none, this meeting is now adjourned.
Good night, everyone.